So let's say you want to get started with this whole investing thing, and the amount that you have even on your bank account is probably not enough for a home. But hey, you made the choice. Leaving it on the bank doesn't do anything as well. And you should of course invest your money in something, right? Because you've heard the news, or you've heard somebody talk about Tesla stocks or Zoom stocks or Amazon stocks, or even companies like Shopify. Well, even the most simple part about this whole thing is that people keep saying to you, if you invested in these companies about 10 years ago, then you would have begotten $1 million by now. Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you're new to the game of investing, your money on the stock market, it can really become a complicated puzzle that you think like, oh my goodness, what the hell is this? Like, the first thing that you could have is like, how do I even buy a stock? Or how do I even know that I'm really the owner of a stock the moment I start pouring money in it, right? Or how do I even make money with my stocks? Because you've heard all about the risk and horror stories about investing in stocks as well. The first notification that you get the moment you start investing is like, you could lose all your money the moment you invest. So be careful what you invest in. Hey, this is Lukas from excelwealth.com. Now, I don't know about you, but that phrase actually scared me off when I was younger, I'll tell you that. But just the other day, I was actually asked the question like, Lukas, how do you do your investing? And that actually made me thinking, I've shot all these loose videos on investing, but maybe for a change, maybe I should shoot a whole investing video series just for you, so that you can think, you know what, let's just do this step by step. And if I make it into one video, this video could be, I don't know, like an hour or so. And, everybody knows. You can't be watching a video of Lukas for more than an hour straight, right? No, nobody's gonna watch that, right? So this is why I split this video up in multiple videos, so that you should actually know how to get started in investing in only 9 steps. Now, the first step is, how do I make money? Now, this question actually seems very silly, but when we really take a look at the concept of making money, it is true that we actually just know a few ways to make money. Now, one of the first ones is that we of course know the way of making money by exchanging our time and effort. In exchange for that, we get money. And this is actually what you need to understand, because the same concept goes for money itself. When you leave money just laying around, money doing nothing, money just gets devalued over time. And this is why it's so important. You need to let your money grow, which actually just makes sense, and I get it that we all want to make our money grow into more money. But the question is always, how? But before I go into that question, the first thing that you need to understand about money is inflation. Now, inflation. Well, let's go back into the 1970s, okay? So in the 1970s, a cup of coffee would cost you around 25 cents. Now you think, ooh, that's nice and cheap. But currently, that same cup of coffee is about $1.50, and that is just called inflation. The value of money gets less and less over time. Now, the inflation is up about 2% per year. That's in general, on that. Meaning that the buying power of your, for example, $1,000 this year, will be about down 2% next year. Doesn't sound very silly? It sounds baby. So the buying power of your $1,000 may be around $980. So now you might be thinking, yeah, but the things that I buy also get devalued. And yes, that might be the case, but you'll have to see it like this. If you leave your money on a savings account, the interest that you get from your bank is, now I don't know about your country, but in my country, it is about 0.01% per year, like nothing. That means if you leave your money on the bank account, on a savings account, you are losing 1.99% each year just by doing nothing. And to think about it, you've worked so hard to make that money by exchanging your own time. And the moment you made it, you're just letting it sit on the bank and disappear and devalue over time. So therefore, taking action for your money is also a very important step to take. So thinking back to the phrase, that you might lose all your investments if you have no knowledge on investing and you invest in the wrong things. Now that you think about the next step, because the second step is, what are stocks and shares? Because you gotta see it like this, right? The first thing that you need to distinguish is, what's the difference between those two words? Well, I'll tell you this. Currently, in this world that we live right now, it's only a word. Because in the past, you would actually have a piece of paper that would say, the one holding this piece of paper is the proud owner of this particular company. Well, at least a share of that company then. So you got to see it like this, because the company, if they issued 100 shares, then you would have one share, then you have 1% of the company, 1% of the company. But if the company has 1,000,000 shares, then yes, you would only have 1 millionth share of the company. Well, yeah, you get the idea. But as for stocks, you got to see it like this. Stocks are traded on the stock market, and stocks do not have to be particularly from one company, but could be, the stocks of a group of companies. And that makes a difference there. And yes, we tend to use the two words intertwined into each other, because when you buy stocks on the stock market, it could just be, the fact that you're purchasing a share on Amazon, a little bit from Facebook, and a little bit of Google, and a little bit of Microsoft, well, depending on which stock you've purchased, of course. And talking about these stocks and shares, that is the next step that I would like to discuss with you. Now, in this third step, I want to show you how do I buy shares. Well, you got to see it like this. It's not that you really, walk into your local Pizza Hut and say, gentlemen, I would like to buy a piece of pizza. No, not pizza, but the ownership of this company. Well, you could, but, the people who work there would think, who's this idiot coming in and saying that you want to buy shares, stocks? Well, the thing is then, how do you buy your shares and stocks? Well, that's actually very, very simple. There are brokerage companies out there that actually help you buy and sell your shares. Now, in the past, what you would do is you would call your stockbroker and tell them, gentlemen, I would like to buy or sell a certain stock. And these people would actually just input that into their computer like, doot, 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 and ta-da, you would be the owner of a certain company. Congratulations. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's actually all those people on the phone. Like in the movie from Wolf of Wall Street, see all those people like, oh, I gotta sell, gotta buy, gotta sell, gotta buy. But nowadays, this is actually, digitally and everything could be done from your computer, from your home. You just input it on your laptop. So no need to call a dude, or no need to tell him to buy or sell anything for you, because, that's kind of old-fashioned. But then the next issue actually arises. So, it's good that I know that I can use brokerage accounts to buy stocks and shares. But what is a brokerage account actually? Well, you gotta see it like this. Banks offer all kinds of services, okay? So all major banks offer certain services, like a savings account, a checking account. They will lend you money so that you can buy a home, for example. And you can, they can lend you money so that you can buy a car. But there are so many major banks that also offer a service to you for an investment account. And such an investment account that you could use so that you can buy and sell stocks. Now, even in this world of stocks that we live in right now, there are brokerage companies that only do one thing, and one thing only. They do it really well. And I can see you thinking, Lucas, why would that be an advantage to me? Well, that is actually a great question, because you got to see it like this. If there's an online company, in our case an online broker, that has no physical locations, but does offer one service that you actually only seek for, which is giving you the possibility to buy and sell stocks whenever you want to, and even on your nice fancy phone, then yes. And I'll tell you this, if this service is cheaper and has better functionalities than your local bank that is huge and major and know people that can really help you, which is a little bit old-fashioned, physical, but more expensive and most possibly even slower than those online banks, then yes, the choice is rather obvious for you. At least then, I hope so, right? And that's why there are a ton of online brokers. Like in the US, you have TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, Robinhood, M1 Finance. But actually, I'll tell you this, each country has their own rules and regulations, and therefore not all online brokers are available worldwide. Now, the ones that I mentioned for in the US, like, Fidelity, for example, they are not available for me here in the Netherlands. Now, the two online broker accounts that I use here in the Netherlands are De Giro and, of course, Bink Bank. And with this information today, you should be able to take a look around in your own environment. What possibilities do I have? What banks are out there that can support my needs for investing? Oh yeah, and if you're interested, you could even take a look around already, like which companies would help me in my investment journey, and mostly why would those companies be a good fit for me? Now today I've discussed the first 3 steps of how to start investing, in your journey. Be sure to check out the other videos that I'll be shooting and of course releasing here on this channel as well, if you're interested in investing as well, of course. As there will be more videos coming up on how to start investing and how and what I actually do with my money to let it grow over time. Now I thank you very much for watching today's video. If you liked the video, don't forget to smash that like button. And of course, if you haven't become that XL crew member yet, be sure to click that button that you see over here. This is in the screen, you can't really click it, of course, but the actual button is somewhere down below here. And of course, if you want to be notified every time a new video comes out, be sure to click that notification bell as well. And then turn on all notifications. Okay, I hope to see you on the next video as well. Happy investing, and I'll see you next time.